customers enter a username and passwords to log into their account, right? So customers may worry about keylogging software being used to gain unauthorized access to their account. Describe how keylogging software can be used to gain unauthorized access to a customer's account. So you can write that they're saying describe how keylogging software can be used to gain unauthorized access to a customer's account. So you can simply write that key presses are monitored, because keylogging software is basically talking about your spyware. It's spying your key presses. Okay, so you can write that the keylogger it records the key presses. Okay, records key presses. Okay, it records your key presses, and data is obviously it is this data is relayed back to the back. We cannot say back because it was not their data, so you can write that data can data is relayed to the third party which actually installed that software, to third party. Okay, and then data is analyzed to find these personal details, the login details. Okay, data is analyzed to find login details, maybe. Okay, login details, and these details can be used to log into the account and hence gain unauthorized access. Fine. So 4 marks are fine. Then keylogger records key presses because it's like a spyware. It's another name for spyware, and data is relayed to the third party, and that is analyzed to find login details, and these details can be used to log into the account and hence gain unauthorized access. Then identify a feature that hence can add to the website to limit the threat of keylogging software. There are many features. He could use two-step verification. He could also use, now don't write strong passwords over here because it's to limit the threat of keylogging software. So you can use drop-down boxes because the threat could be limited when you're not using your keyboard. So anything other than keyboard can be done. Then maybe you can use an on-screen keyboard then, or you can use two-step verification, or simply you can use the drop-down boxes. Okay, use of drop-down boxes for passwords, right? Because password is the real thing which can be made. And so let's see, okay, then password is a real thing which can actually be used to access your personal details. Then Hans makes sure data transmission for his website is secure. So state how customers can check that the personal details they entered into the website will be transmitted securely. Okay, so for the secure transmission, you can always check for the HTTPS or the padlock sign. Okay, so you can write that they can check for HTTPS. Okay, then explain how a customer's browser checks that the website is secure. Okay, this was how the customer checks. They can check for HTTPS or the secure, that padlock sign, the green padlock that's there like this. Okay, or then you can explain that how customers browsers checks that the website is secure. Now it's talking about the fact that how a customer's browser, it's not about you, it's about the browser. Okay, make sure you understand this thing. Okay, so it's a simple 4-step or 5-step process, which is like the browser requests the web server to identify itself, and then the web server sends the copy of its SSL certificate, and then the web browser authenticates the SSL certificate, and then it sends the signal back to web server that if the certificate is authenticated. Okay, it's like authentic, if it's fine. Okay, so you can write that web browser requests web server to identify itself. Web server responds by sending copy of its SSL certificate. Web server to identify itself. Web server responds by sending a copy of its SSL certificate, and then the web browser authenticates, checks that if it's real, it's trustworthy or not. Okay, this certificate okay, and then it sends the signal back to the web server that the certificate is authentic, and of course then the communication communication between the web browser and then the web server begins, and the web pages are opened and they're given, they're sent to the web browser by the web server. So this was the process. Okay, the secure communication begins by this process, of course. Then question number 8, it says that Benny is a photographer and prints his photos using an inkjet printer. Okay, make sure which printer is used, you need to know the differences. Benny is printing some photos and the paper gets jammed in the printer. Okay, it happened with me quite a few times. So a signal is sent to alert the computer about the paper jam. State the name of this type of signal. It's basically an interrupt, because it is the thing actually which is we've studied, because there's nothing other than interrupt which we can write over here. Okay, interrupt, it's a fact. Interrupt. Okay, it's going to interrupt in between. Okay, so fine. Then identify one benefit and two drawbacks. Now, one benefit and two drawbacks of Benny using an inkjet printer instead of a laser printer to print his photos. Okay, in variant 2 they had asked the exact opposite question, but let's be more towards this question now. So inkjet printer, the benefit of an inkjet printer is that there's no warm-up time in an inkjet printer, because the laser printer needs some time to warm up, but the inkjet printer does not need warm-up time. Okay, so you can write that it takes no warm-up time. And the drawback of it can be that it has a slower speed of printing, because the drawback of inkjet printer are the benefits of laser printer. So you can write that the drawback of this inkjet printer is opposite of the laser printer, because laser printer prints really fast. So you can write that slower speed of printing. And drawback 2 could be that ink is more expensive per page, because toner is used for multiple pages, right? But ink can be more expensive per page, right? So you can write that ink is more expensive per page. Good enough. Then 4 statements are given about printers. Tick to show whether a statement applies to an inkjet printer or a laser printer. Let's see. Uses a rotating drum to transfer image to the paper. Inkjet printer uses either thermal bubble or piezoelectric technology. So it does not use a rotating drum, so it's laser. Okay. Then uses powder toner, it's also laser. Uses nozzles to spray droplets onto the paper, it's inkjet. And uses a print head mechanism that moves side to side, it's inkjet. So fair enough. Question number 9, this is probably the last question of this paper. Programs can be written in a low-level language. You have to identify 3 features of a low-level language. So now it's not a high-level language, it's a low-level language. Low-level language is closer to machine code. Like high-level language is closer to English language. So low-level language is closer to machine code, right? And it is machine dependent because you don't need it to be translated, or you may need an assembler to be translated maybe, but yeah, it's machine dependent. Okay, it's machine dependent. Okay, and one more thing, that it can address memory addresses directly. Okay, it has a direct access to memory locations, right? Because it's a low-level language, so it has a direct access to memory locations. Okay, these are some features which you need to know, and it's also written in our book. So these are some facts. Give 2 examples of a low-level language. Now they're saying to give like 2 examples. So you can write that assembly code and machine code, because machine code and assembly code, they always come into the category of, in your book, into the category of low-level language. Some things are to be memorized because these are facts. Okay. Then give 1 drawback of writing programs in a low-level language instead of high-level language. It is more difficult to understand for humans, basically. So you can write that it is more difficult. This is machine dependent. I think I said that it's machine independent. No, it is machine dependent. Fine. Then it is more difficult. Now if you give 2 drawbacks here, you won't get a mark because they're only saying that it's 1 drawback, right? It is more difficult to understand. Okay, fine. Then a low-level language needs to be converted to binary before it can be processed by a computer. Of course, and everything needs to be converted to binary because computer, whenever the binary word comes, it is 1 and 0 only. So computer always uses 1 0 1 0 only. Okay, these digits only. Okay, now you have to give the 8-bit binary value of the 2 denary values. Okay, it's 180. Always write the place values first. 1 2 4 8 16 32 64 128, and then you don't need 256 because it's 180, right? So if we take 128, it would be a good option because let's check 180 minus 128. We just need to take we will need to put ones beneath these numbers, beneath the numbers that add up to give 180, right? So it's okay, it's 7 5 52, right? 10 5 6 7 8 you're not allowed a calculator over here, so it's 52. Now if I put a 1 over here, I need to make 52. And how do I make it? I know 32 plus 16 is 48, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52. I need to add 4 with it. Okay, if I add 4, I'm gonna get 52. So let's see, 32 plus 16 and then 4. Okay, now I'll add these numbers just for a quick review so I don't get them wrong. 128 plus 32 plus 16 plus 4 is 20. So just take it as 20. 9, 10, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, it's 180, correct. So I can just pen down it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These are 8-bit binary values. So make sure these are 8 bits. And then 201. Okay, for 201 I don't need 256 as well, because simply they have given 8-bit binary, so I just need to write place value is still 8. Okay, then I'll obviously use 128. Let's see, what do I need then? 201 minus 128. It's going to give me 8. Yes, 11, 3. Then 7, 0. Let's cross check. 10, then 201. Yes, we need 73 more. How do we make it? 64, 73 minus 64, so it would be how much? 13 minus 4 is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 8 plus 5, 9. It's 9. 10, 11, 12, 13, right? So 9 plus 4 is 13. So 6 plus 6, 0. I need the number 9. It's pretty simple. I can write 8 and then 1. So this 128 plus 64 and plus 9. 9 is where? Yes, 1 and 1. Now for my convenience and for confirmation, I can add up these numbers. 128 plus 64 plus 9. So 8 plus 4 is 12. Okay, 12 plus 9 is 21. Okay, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 201. Yes, it's the correct answer. So I just need to pen it down over here. Fine, pretty simple. Now this one, it says give the 12-bit, make sure how many bits they're asking. I have to show it very carefully. Binary value of the denary value 250. Okay, 12-bit binary. Let's see, 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 128, 2 is 256. We don't need 256. So that means that to make it 12 bits, we need 4 more zeros at the back. Okay, so these are 8. So I can make 4 zeros over here to make it 12-bit. Fine. Then I need to make 250. So for this, let's subtract 250 from 128. It's gonna be 4, 2, 122. I still need a big number, so 250, right? Okay, 122. So let's do this. 122. If I do it 64 plus 32, you need to work out some mental maths of yours. Okay, 4, 5, 6, 96, 96, and then again 16. Still 112. And then right, 12, 13, 14, 15. Let's add 15. 127. Achha, we need 122. So we need to subtract. We need 122, right? So we need to subtract 5 from here. Okay. So we're dealing with 64 plus 32, right? 64 and 32 and 128 was also there. Then 16 was also there. And then we added 15, right? So we need to subtract 5 from here. So let's put over here a 0 and 0 and this. Now let's add up these values to see whether we were correct or not. 128 plus what is this? 64 plus 32 is 96, and 96 plus 16 is 112. So 112 plus 10, 9, 10, 2 plus 1, 3, 4, 5, 250. Yes, pretty good. We have found the correct answer, and let's check if these are 12 bits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yes, these are 12 bits. So 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 0. I hope this is pretty much clear. Okay, so you always must have over here the leading zeros, because and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ones, and then 0 and 1, 0. Fine. Then binary can be represented as hexadecimal to make it easier to read, of course. So give the hexadecimal values of the 8-bit binary values. So what do? You always divide it in groups of 4. Make sure that you always divide it in groups of 4. Okay, so here, and then write the place value. So if I expand it over here a bit, 1, 0, 1, and then 0, 0, 1, 1. I have made these two groups. Now I'm going to put the place values separately. Now 8 plus 1 is 9, 2 plus 1 is 3. So it's basically 93. Okay, over here I'm also going to write them separately so it's more clear for me. Okay, 1, 1, 0, 1. So it's basically 1, 2, 4, 8. 1, 2, 4, 8. It always starts with 1. 1 2s are 2, 2 2s are 4, 4 2s are 8, right? So it's 1, and then 8, 12, 13. It's 13, right? 1 and 13. But you won't write this because 13 is not in hexadecimal. We have these things after 9, the number 9. We have some letters which denote these numbers after 9. Because hexadecimal is from 0 to 15. There are 16 base 16 number, right? Because it's base 16 number. So A is 10, B, C, D, E, F. It's still F. So 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Always write this at the side of your exam paper. So 13 is what? 13 is D. So instead of 13, I'll write D, so it would be 1D. 1D. Okay, so this is how you would solve very slowly, and because I think we have enough time for the paper, so gradually we can solve step by step each and every question, so that our values are not correct. And always check these values if these are, you haven't done a mistake while copying from here to here. Okay, so this was the last question. Thank you for watching.